Do things come faster to you when you're in a blissed out place or not? I mean, just as curiosity, because I love where my life is.
Of course they do, because you never cease asking for more. You never do. It's the way the entire universe is established.
Right.
And the more you are pointed in the direction of the flow, then the more rapidly you close the gap between where you are and where the things you want are. So yes, the better you feel, the more things flow into your experience. So much so that with very little effort, you can reach the place where you want it and it is, and 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 you want it and it is. In other words, when you get in alignment with the knowledge that you are powerful and that you are right to create, and that the entire universe is queued up to assist you in your creation, when you get in sync with that, think about what happens to people. When you're not in sync with that, you're questioning your worthiness. That slows things down immensely. Yeah. When you're not in sync with that, you're questioning your right to have something, or you're comparing what you have with what someone else has. When you know your worthiness, and you are devouring life experience and giving birth to new idea after new idea with an expectation of receiving it, people who are watching you will say, you get everything you want. And you will say, everyone does. And they will argue, no, not me. I want many things that I don't get. And you'll say, well, I remember that, but I've sort of forgotten that. Mm-hmm. And here's what I do that keeps me in the flow of what I'm wanting. And then you just explain it to them.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think I've come to understand that not being in the blissed out place is just, I've started to want more and I'm just not there yet.
As you use this term blissed out place, we want to talk about it in terms of the relationship in where you might be. In other words, blissed out place, follow my bliss. And we want you to realize that while a blissed out place is not always possible right now, this red hot minute from where you stand, turning in the direction of bliss is always possible. Mm-hmm. So when you become satisfied with going with the flow, rather than insisting that you be in the blissed out place, now you'll go with the flow and you'll more often be in the blissed out place. That blissed out place is a relative thing. Haven't you noticed that the happier you get, the more potential for happiness that you have, but the less extraordinary happiness feels?
Yes.
It's sort of like getting into a very hot bathtub and then adjusting to it. And even though the water's still hot, you've adjusted. So as you turn toward bliss and turn toward bliss and turn toward bliss, you won't feel the contrast between agony and bliss so much, because you'll so much be so used to the feeling of well-being.
Right.
We want you to always be able to distinguish that feeling of relief, because it's relief when you go from despair into anger. There is palpable relief. There's relief when you go from anger into frustration. There's relief when you go from doubt into hope. There's relief when you go from hoping something to believing it. There's relief when you go from believing something to knowing it. And so as you get it, that there is always relief. In fact, we've noticed that there is no ending, because in every place that any of us stand, there is the potential for releasing yet more resistance. Because we are eternally expanding, we are always reaching into something that is new. And because it is new, it is not yet known. And because it is not yet known, there is a particle of resistance still present, that when we release it, then we will know it. And so we think that the ideal life experience is much as you've described it, where life keeps calling you forward. In other words, your life keeps causing you to ask for yet more, but your understanding in the laws and your belief in your own deservability causes you to offer no resistance. So it's just a matter of asking and receiving, asking and receiving, asking and receiving, asking and receiving, asking and receiving. What a magnificent life that is. That's what you had planned when you came forth.